No, he's a fucking billionaire.
Because in LA, it's way lame to wear a suit.
I know.
Because you're like, what
Only
are you,
in
a fucking nerd?
Agents.
Yeah,
it's true.
You're considered a dork. So
but if you go down to like the beach areas, you get the really good looking people.
Yeah.
But I feel like in Hollywood, you're kind of getting.
Oh, Hollywood's dirty though.
Yeah, I mean West Hollywood even you're getting, Well,
West Hollywood is primo gay dudes.
It's Asian gay guys. That And then you have like Santa Monica, like the pier, where it's like the
scumbags.
Muscle Beach, where it's like those guys they're in such good shape they've like cured themselves of AIDS.
Yeah,
and those guys all had AIDS in the 80s, and then somehow just lifted it. They just beat it AIDS by lifting. Because you look at them, you look at their faces, you're like, oh, you had AIDS at one point, but now they're
fine.
See
the gaunt cheeks.
Oh and everything. Yeah, it's like, oh, you were done, but they just got buff. They had lesions, but they just fought it out. So I appreciate
It's
that.
an amazing look sometimes when you see the AIDS face.
Oh, yeah.
And you see the chest and everything here.
Oh, that's all it is. But
the toothpick legs.
Dude, all Venice Beach is buff body, AIDS face.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what it is.
It's true. Now, West Hollywood used to be a mecca. It was like the one of the destinations of the world to go to if you were trying to get down with dudes.
I think it still is.
Is it still as a primo spot?
I'm sure West Hollywood still.
Is the Abbey still the hot?
I guess so. I'm not a bar. I don't go to bars.
You don't go to bars?
I don't drink.
What?
So
that
really
makes
go
sense.
To bar. Yeah.
Well, then
so
how do you meet dudes? Where are the dudes at?
Just on the internet.
Oh, right. There's like
That's
Grindr.
The best,
the internet is kind of easy. You don't really have to go out to a bar, and you know.
Great.
And also, West Hollywood's like the type of gay, like where it's like I'm gay. West Hollywood's insane gay. Like it's like
really?
A level.
It's too much.
Well, it's just there's people riding like horses. It's like that scene in The Wizard of Oz where they're riding like the multicolored, like that's a horse of a different color. It's like there's dudes riding purple horses down the street. It's like I don't know what this is. LA gay is like trans. They're like it's like the next level.
Yeah.
And LA trans is like the next whatever that is. Like they're disabled. They're like kneecapping themselves. It's always the next thing here. Like it's just
true.
it really is. It's a lot.
I bet because you said
you were telling me before that LA's back.
I think it's back. You know, there's a lot of people out. And people. I think by July, New York's opening full, no masks. LA will probably follow suit. There's just a lot of people here. There's a lot of people in New York. Austin doesn't have a lot of people, so you don't really. It's got 1 million people. There's 18 million in LA.
18 million.
15 million in New York.
Yes,
it's a different.
Not counting the Chinese.
So that's true
because they're here a lot of illegally.
More.
But there's many more.
Yes, many more, and they enrich the economy, and we thank them.
We thank them.
Thank them.
Especially, I'd like to shout out the good community of Bay Ridge, where I'm from.
Yeah.
They are keeping so far the Chinese
keeping
out.
It afloat.
Yeah,
white people don't have any money. They're all trying to do podcasts about basketball. Yeah. But the reality is, the Chinese are doing good. No, it's going to come back, and yes, there will be crime.
Sure.
And people crawl in your window and things like that. And in the state of California, will not prosecute them after they've killed you.
Yes.
But at that point, it doesn't matter anyway.
Doesn't matter.
And you said New York, somebody got shot at Peter Luger's.
Somebody got shot at Peter yesterday. 2 outdoor diners.
It should have been the chef because it really has struggled. It struggled, and that was an iconic place.
It
but
was.
Like anything else, it got fat and happy. It got lazy.
Right.
And it's just not putting out the kind of food that they used to put out.
Yeah. So somebody was killed.
2 diners wounded during shooting at Brooklyn's Peter Luger's.
Peter Luger's right outdoor. And it's interesting because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I would always think if somebody gets shot at Peter Luger's, I thought the waitstaff would shoot back because these guys are all criminals. This is a mafia place.
Imagine
crazy too.
You do cool stuff too, right?
Where do you go? University of Kansas? That sounds fun. It is what it is.
College.
They're like, my dad's a Christian minister. I'm like, I hate gays. This is great. We're in. So it's a real,
How is that? How are those college guys?
Well, they need to be lied to.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I mean it's just.
Oh my God! If I was,
there's a lot of gay dudes that don't want to come out now because the gay thing's gotten too crazy.
Really?
It's just too much now because it's like it used to be like, oh, you're just gay. Now it's like men and women don't exist. Everything like, and you're like, wait, no, I don't. Hold on. It's like that toddler should transition. You're like, maybe not.
A toddler should know which gender it identifies with immediately.
Yeah.
And then
so like there's people that I talk to that are like, I don't want to be I don't want to just my whole life to be politics and craziness.
I understand that.
Yeah,
I guess I never really considered it that now. It used to be like, oh my God, coming out would be this, am I going to be shunned or shamed?
Yeah.
And then now you're like, oh, this world has become just bananas.
It's just bananas. And there's a lot of guys that want to come out of the closet and like still be a racist, and still, You know, and I get it. You know, they're like, I don't want to be intersectional.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, I hate Koreans, and I just want to be openly gay and hate Koreans. So it's like,
and it's tough to do now.
Why is that a problem?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's who I'm for.
Right.
You know? I'm for the anti-intersectional. Everybody has their own interest.
Saying, hey, an elderly Asian person got beat up on the streets of New York last week. He's like, that's horrible. It made the front page of the paper. It sucks. He's like, but what they don't tell you is that 7 other elderly people were also beat up in New York City that day. One of them was killed, but none of that gets on the media. He was like, he was like, New York is not really as bad as they say.
Are all of I think the question really becomes, are all of those elderly people blameless?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like, and it's true. Like, did any of the, because I don't want to be ageist, and I don't want to think that they can't be a threat.
Right.
Like, because that's ageism.
Right.
So what you're doing is being ageist.
Right.
I like to think of elderly people as all potential threats.
Yes.
That they could have started that problem.
100%.
And maybe they just didn't finish it.
For example, my father did it. My father did a quick episode on the Patreon yesterday. He's 76 years old, and he just got the vaccine, and people are championing that. And I said, well, you know, my father still calls black people coloreds. So does he deserve to live?
Yeah. Well, you should have to take a test before you get the vaccine to see how woke you are.
Yeah.
And if you're worth keeping on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Because we just vaccinated everyone over 65. We just vaccinated a lot of racists. We kept a lot of racism alive. Truly, that's what we.
That's kind of what defined that generation, is like rampant materialism and convenience. Everything was easy. Fast food, you know, getting you know, putting your kids in a million activities so you could then do what you want, you know. And there were economic realities, of course, that coincided with this too, but it was like, it was a generation of people that was all about comfort and convenience.
Wow.
Well, plus their parents weren't very emotionally available either.
Right.
So then you have
and
a
they
whole.
were the first, like the boomers were the first generation of kids that were told, like, follow their dreams. Like, well, my generation was told that, and it was the worst advice. Like, it was just like, yeah, you're unique and special, follow your dreams. And people are like, I don't have dreams. Like, but follow them.
Yeah.
And they took out all these loans, and they're screwed now.
Wait, but that's so true, because there are some people that just don't have dreams.
Yeah,
and
all of them.
Yeah, like what about that person that's like, I kind of don't give a shit. Like, I wouldn't mind just doing a job. And
yeah, a lot. But we're like, no, but you've got something important to say inside of you.
No,
the guys
don't.
like Gary Vaynerchuk, all these like motivational guys, like, no, there's a business inside of you.
Like, no.
And it's like, no, there's not.
Not
there's
everyone.
Not really.
There is not a business inside of my friend Ryan.
Right,
you know?
right.
There is not, you know?
That's
so
true.
It's this hyper individualism.
I think that there's this thing too that we try to celebrate, like we try to tell everyone to be a leader, as